What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S, part of Den Media Group, presented by alphacliniconline.com. Let me see if I can get my girl here, man, because I owe her big. Yeah, I fucked up today. Players fuck up. Just want y'all to know. Sometimes my schedule gets hectic and I get thrown off. And I was supposed to be on TV today with Alpha Clinic, and we did some good commercials because we helping people lose weight and live their best lives. She sent me the. Well, I was trying to see if she. Hello? Oh, she didn't answer. Let's see if she calls back. But anyways, we were supposed to be on TV today on News for Jacks. I wasn't able to make that because Coach Norvell came in, and it was some like I said, yeah, Coach Norvell came in, kind of threw my schedule off. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but so that you can adjust and handle the stresses and the nuances of your life, you need to go to alphacliniconline.com. Check out Christina. Let's get your blood labs tested in the month of January or in this first quarter. Let's see where we're at. And then let's just make sure we make some goals. No resolutions. Resolutions are broken. I want to make sure we're all on track to do things. Tell us what's going on.
What's up, y'all? So today we got a little quick show for you guys. So we're going to touch on the Ohio State and Notre Dame viewership numbers from the championship game. And then obviously the talk of the town for Jacksonville is the Trent Baalke and the head coaching situation. So we're going to dive into that, expose the details around that situation. Then we're going to highlight BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr., for his accolades this past season. And then we got some music videos, a music video to play by Marcellus Wiley to Ryan Clark. It's a diss track. Then we'll finish up with our Big Games BS segment. So hope y'all doing well, and I'll share the screen with you all. The Ohio State and Notre Dame game was a very, very high viewing game. I'm going to share this with you all this year and some facts about this game. So the Ohio State Notre Dame game was the most watched non-NFL sporting event over the past year. So sharing this with you all right now. Perfect. Cool. So it had 22.1 million viewers. Like I watched non-NFL sporting event over the past year, and it peaked with 26.1 million viewers from 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. This was a great college football game. Excuse me, like we mentioned before, Ohio State won the championship when the 4-team playoff was introduced. Now they won it when the 12-team playoff was introduced. So that's pretty cool to see how they're kind of repeating history in a way. And we're going to make our transition into the NFL. This is the major talk of the town. And James, this is where your dialogue is going to come in clutch. So the Jaguars parted ways with Trent Baalke, and the city was in celebration mode. So James, what do you think about the release of Trent Baalke?
I think it was necessary. I think it was past time. And I want to celebrate. I don't like celebrating people losing their jobs, but fuck Baalke. This is where my problem comes in. I was asked this question by, when I say names, is it name dropping? Because this is kind of, anyways, I was asked this question by a guy who may be important with FSU. And I said, I can't celebrate because this is supposed to be the funnest time of the year or of your career when you're in media, right? Coaches firings and hirings, whether it be head coaches or people like that, it's supposed to create a buzz. It's supposed to have a bunch of increase your viewership. People want to come and see your expert opinion. They want to hear about these things, except for the fact that the Jaguars figure out. We didn't do our prayer. Let me get this statement out, and then we'll go to do our prayer so that we can make sure that this is blessed. Blessed when after I say this, but like, we are literally doing everything ass backwards. And you guys should be perfect for the prayer. What we're doing and what we're about to get done, we're doing our own shit and trying to sprinkle Jesus on top of it and asking him to freshen it. You don't hire a coach and then you don't hire a coach and then hire a GM. You don't keep a GM to interview coaches that the coaches know is not going to be there in a year or two. This all should have been done at the end of this. This should have been done before you fired Doug. Doug should have known he was done because Baalke was fired. That's what it should have been. We did it in reverse order, so it's hard to get excited for it because I have no idea what the future holds, and it seems like we're going to get another dumbass situation again because I don't know what Shad Khan's problem is. But before we get into all of that, let's bless this. Let's bless the podcast with our Polynesian prayer. Okay. Yeah. All right. So again, back to garbage bin Baalke. The combine is in a little bit. So it's right around the corner. And we don't know what we want to do. You've got to we got a coaching search. We have an idea of who I think we wanted to get. We didn't fire him because we didn't fire him for the right reasons. We fired him because nobody wanted to work for the Jags. It should have been the reason. Like, it took us being turned down by 3.5 guys, and I'm saying 3.5. Well, 2.5 for a reason. No, 3.5 because he turned us down, and then now he's halfway here, or more than likely here. We got turned down 3.5 times for us to realize that nobody wants to work with this motherfucker. It is not that. And as I was talking to my good friend Sean King, not the light skinned one, not the light skinned Sean King, but the former football player. He was like, "It seems like you have the talent. Is it the coach or is it the player? I mean, is it the coach or is it the players? Because the players seem to be there." And I said I would normally defend that, but you can't fire 3 coaches and it not be you. You're the only consistent in that situation. And it's kind of like Smokey from Friday when he went off on Craig. He said, "I ain't never got 2 things that match. Whether it's Kool-Aid, no sugar, peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger." Basically, Baalke never has things. He never fully takes things through. It's kind of, actually, when I think about it, it's very Duval. One of my critiques with Duval is that a lot of guys try to half-ass shit here. We got to take things to the next level. And Baalke doesn't. He just takes things he just half-asses things. So that's my thoughts on that.
I know you kind of previously mentioned and hinted at it, but with the head coaching situation, it is more likely than not that we will have Liam Coen as our head coach, the former Buccaneers offensive coordinator. And we got some stories about this process going on so far. So I'm going to share with you some of these posts on Twitter, and we will discuss the process of him stepping into this role into Jacksonville and the steps that he took to do so. So, as you can see by the screen right here, Liam Coen is expected to be named the next head coach of the Jaguars, and they're undergoing final negotiations. He's now headed home to Tampa while his representatives finalize his details with Jacksonville. So, just a quick backstory. He was set to interview on Wednesday for the second round of interviews with the Jags, but then withdrew his name. The Bucs then offered him an extension to become one of the highest paid coordinators in the league. The Jaguars then fired Trent Baalke. They reached back out to Coen asking if he would reconsider. Coen hadn't signed his Bucs contract yet and started engaging with the Jags again. Now Cohen was at the facility, and meanwhile the Bucs could not get in touch with him, and this is why they could not get in touch with him. He informed head coach Todd Bowles around 5 p.m. This was, I believe, yesterday, that he was at a doctor's office with, quote, his sick child. Liam briefly mentioned the Jaguar situation, saying he wanted to look back into it. So he said he was tending his sick child while he was here in Jacksonville. So I know this is a very messy situation, James. So what do you think about the process of us getting this supposedly head coach? And then how do you think he will pan out here in Jacksonville with this rough start?
Hey man, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, what if multiple things could be true at the same time? Like, what if he really did? What if that was, he legitimately was taking care of it? What if he had to go to Shands? What if Wilson's Children's Hospital? Just so happens, you kill two birds with one stone. Do you know where Wilson's Children's Hospital is located? Downtown Jacksonville. Like, what if he just, okay, my kid's sick, let me drop him off right here, and then I'll be over here around the corner, hanging out with the Jags. I'm just saying, like, there's no need to, jump to conclusions, even though I know that's all bullshit. Like, the funniest part about all of this is that I try to tell people, don't treat athletes in sports the exact same way as we treat everybody else. You know why I say this? Because this is what y'all be doing at y'all jobs. Y'all go to work. Oh, I gotta go take an interview, and you put it on your kids. I gotta go take my kid on this field trip. I gotta go do this, or I gotta go do that. That man basically pulled a normal everyday person scheme off on those guys, and it's hilarious to me. So, but yeah, I'm cool with it.
No, there's a lot of posts, comments online regarding the situation, and one of the people who I feel really bad for is Baker Mayfield. So I'm sharing with you all the screen of Baker Mayfield's list of offensive coordinators by year, and we're going to start in 2018, and then we're going to go to 2024. So in 2018, he had Todd Haley and Freddie Kitchens. 2019, Todd Monken. 2020, Alex Van Pelt. 2021, Alex Van Pelt. 2022, Ben McAdoo from Carolina, and then Liam Coen, who previously came from the Rams, and in 2023, Dave Canales. In 2024, Liam Coen. So if Coen takes the Jacksonville job, Baker Mayfield will be working with his eighth offensive coordinator in 8 seasons in 2025. James, how difficult is it for a quarterback or for any player to have this much variety in the offensive coordinator position for your team?
Like, you can't have that many. You can't have that many coordinators. Luckily, he had Coen, twice. I think that worked out well. That works out well for him. Um, I yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think about like what all like what trying to feel sympathy for Baker, but it's not working. But because I don't care about it. But I do know this that he had a great synergy with Coen. The Buccaneers actually performed pretty well. I think it might have been more Baker, and I think Liam Coen was the offensive coordinator at Kentucky not too long ago. Like, anybody remember Kentucky's offenses just being just immaculate like that? They had mayonnaise, boy. That's what the Titans thinking it up right now. But Baker, that looks like a guy who has a bunch of exes that just don't love him. They try to ignite that on. Ooh. I got a firing at Florida State. I don't know about that, but yeah, it's just tough to get there. You got to have somebody that you build a rapport with. But the crazy thing is, two of those guys have gotten promoted. I mean, Monken's doing pretty good right now as an OC, and obviously Coen is about to parlay this into another job. So, but that does stink for Baker. If he just has somebody he can have consistently for 2 to 3 years, he might be the Buccaneers might be better.
Who knows? They have one of the best wide receivers in the game with Mike Evans and a defensive-minded team as well. So staying in Jacksonville, however, we got to give a huge shout out to Brian Thomas Jr. He was named a Pro Bowler and an AP Offensive Rookie of the Year finalist, doing his thing for the Jaguars. Huge shout out to him and wishing you much success. Hopefully you get the AP Offensive Player of the Rookie of the Year award. We're rooting for you down here. And speaking of other awards as well, we got a shout out to them NIL boys, the Knowles in the league. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, they are named the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year finalists, both on the same team, both from the one and only Florida State University. So huge shout out to them boys. And I think Jared got this one this year. So huge shout out to them. And man, it's crazy to see.
What's interesting about this graphic is that LSU has a graphic with the three. You know who the three finalists are for the NFC? Three finalists for the NFC Rookie of the Year? All LSU grads. If only there was somebody or a team that possessed the cast of characters to stop that trio in college. Like, was there any team that literally made these guys in the 2 years that they were together look normal? Like, if there was only a defense that held probably the NFC Rookie of the Year quarterback to one garbage time touchdown to Brian Thomas Jr. If only someone were available. And if I told you that this team, there was a college that did this, you would probably think I'm lying. But what if I told you that this college was considered not good enough to play in the college football playoffs? What if I told you that those guys that stopped the trio of NFC Offensive Players of the Year went undefeated in the regular season? And when they were denied the opportunity, they just said, bump it, we're just going to go take our talents and go play in the NFL. What if I told you that those guys went to a conference championship game with no quarterback, and the other team could not move the ball up and down the field because the right side of the defensive line was so fucking dominant? They actually that the white one that will be the runner up for NFC Defensive Player of the Year the game off by taking the guard and spinning his ass around like he was a fucking bottle at a high school slumber party. That team was supposedly not good enough to play against the top teams because they were afraid that bad quarterback play would result in a blowout. That's why I always say the NFL and college are two different games. It's just crazy that that's one of the biggest. The more I watch this shit and the more they post stuff, the more angry I get about last season because it doesn't make sense. Like I try to make it make sense, but then I watch what these two guys are doing to people, and it makes you just.
No, yeah, they're definitely doing big things. I'm excited to see how their future plays out for the Rams and in just the NFL in general. With their loss to the Eagles, however, we have a list of the 7 remaining NFL Knowles who are still in contention for a Super Bowl ring. So, if my calculations are correct, that means a Seminole is destined to get a ring because there's a Seminole each of the teams. So, I'm going to read the names of these players. So, we got Fabian Levitt Sr. on the Chiefs. Bobby Hart on the Commanders, Cam Irving on the Eagles. Then you got Derek Nandy, excuse me, on the Chiefs.
Cam Irving is on the Eagles.
Yeah, according to the FSU football post I shared. Yep, Cam.
The offensive lineman.
Yeah, they have him on this picture.
He was just at the SMU game with me because he wasn't playing. He wasn't in the league. Man, shout out to Cam, dog. Oh, can't get that bread, baby. Because he was like, he might be. It worked out for him. You know what he told me at the SMU game? Hey man, the Jaguars called me, man. I might be coming in for a tryout to be able to make the roster. And I'm like, he's like, hit me up if you get in Jacksonville. And to find out he's there, we're gonna have a good time at the. We need the Eagles to win. I'm fly Eagle fly because that's what I'm rooting for. But if y'all go look at my social media, he had the the FSU throwback basketball jersey on. When we took a picture on the sideline, but kudos to him. I did not realize that.
And then we got your kid's favorite player, Keon Coleman, and then you got Johnny Wilson and then Josh Sweat on the Eagles. So a Seminole is destined to get a Super Bowl, so we winning, but we would like to see the Eagles win. But huge shout out to the Seminoles in the league for doing their thing. And speaking of losses, Mark Andrews made an Instagram post regarding the drop he had, and it was a lot of words. So I'm going to read a little bit of it, and then James, hear your opinion on it. So he started off his Instagram post by saying this quote, "It's impossible to adequately express how I feel. I'm absolutely gutted by what happened on Sunday. I'm devastated for my teammates, my coaches, and my Ravens fans. I pour every ounce of my being into playing at the highest level possible because I love my team in the game of football like nothing else. That is why it's taken me until now to collect my thoughts and address this publicly. Even though the shock and disappointment are like anything I felt before, I refuse to let this situation define me. I promise that this adversity will only make me stronger and fuel us as we move forward." Do you think this was a good idea to post, James, or do you think he should have just okay?
Let it ride, dog. Like, bro, I know. Do you have is that I need to see the original screenshot. I mean, the original post because I know he getting roasted up under there. Yeah, dog. Sometimes you just gotta let it. You gotta let it die, man. You just gotta let it go. I know you don't want to, but like, you don't need. We don't need you to make this. Like, to quote Money Mike, "Don't be sorry, bitch. Be careful." And that's what happened.
Actually, no, it's too soon. You can't actually joke about it.
Nah, this made the joke. Oh, you say he could have made a joke. Yeah. He needs to come out and requote it. Yeah, sorry, I dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah. But yeah, they're still bad.
Yeah, he's in, and what's crazy is, do you know how bad it must? I do feel some empathy for him. You know how bad he must feel to get cussed out in a dialect in which he doesn't understand. Like to you, Jew, like he's like just, it's just not a good look. And it looks like he's purposely destroying Lamar Jackson's legacy. Like, in due time, everybody will forget about it. Well, Baltimore Ravens fans won't forget about this, but you'll forget about this because you're going to win in life. You're rich. Sometimes you just got to step back, laugh, and be like, I'm rich, man.
Yeah, I was surprised by the post, like you said. Just thinking he would, put it on his shoulder and then just take it out, but he felt a need to express himself on Instagram. So, like you said, he's gonna be successful in life. He's got them M's in his account, and yeah, that will transition now into this infographic I wanted to include just to show how scary the Commanders are for the next couple years. So with this post, pretty much excuse me, displays is the most salary cap space, and this is the top 5 teams with the highest salary cap space in the NFL. Patriots number 1 with 120 million. The Las Vegas Raiders number 2 with 92 million, and coming in at number 3, the Commanders with 89 million in salary cap space. James, how crucial is it for the Commanders to have this much cap space and to be in this position right now in the NFC Championship game with all this free money on the table?
It's for us to be, we just gotta be careful. Free agency works when you free agency is like good seasoning. Like it just depends on what you got. Like, some foods need to be seasoned, but the meat's just not good. Sometimes you gotta have better preparation. Like you can't just go fill your team with a bunch of veterans and fuck up the chemistry because you got a good young nucleus. But I will say if they go and they find some guys that can strengthen up their weaknesses and they play it well in the draft, they're going to be, there's a chance to have a shift in the division that they're in, which is the most important thing you have to worry about first in the NFL. We know the Giants are ass, right? We can all as a family say that. The Cowboys have been trying to be back since forever. Like they had a good run. To quote one of my favorite rapper in discussion with probably one of the greatest lyricists to ever grace it in his poem, The Takeover. You had a spark when you started, but now you just garbage. That's what the Cowboys are right now. Don't have a quarterback, looking for gimmicks, so that team stinks. The Eagles are in a weird position where they're really, really good. They're built. But is Jalen Hurts the future? I mean, you've paid him, but like outside, are you going to repay him in a couple years and really feel like you're going to be still there? What we do know is for the next 4 to 5 years, we know they're going to, if Jalen Daniels continues on the trajectory he's going on, you know he's going to be good. And they've also changed the way that people are going to probably go after quarterbacks. Again, talking to Sean, and I do want to get him on so we can have a really good dialogue just about quarterback play and evaluating things. Do you know why the rookie quarterback class has been so good the last couple of years? It's been against what we've all seen. Drafting a quarterback leaving early, and then placing him in a situation. Jaden Daniels is 23. CJ Stroud was a little bit older. Not Baker Mayfield. I call him Baker. Bo Nix was older. My guy with my guy in Atlanta, older. These guys come in and they're a little bit more mature than your traditional rookie quarterbacks come in. They've been through some things. They've seen more football. They processed more football. They were elite recruits. You don't just put a guy out there and then play him early and then pull him back. They have more of an identity, and that's kind of the other part of this. So Jaden Daniels will be 28, probably when it's time for him to get a new contract. But even then, you still know there's a sense of it's going to come to an end because you're going to obviously have the law of diminishing returns. So it is scary. They could definitely flip the division because clearly they're the number 2. They're the second best team in the division, battling for the number 1. If they win, they will be the hot team. So I like it.
His mom was making headlines, though, with her comment in a video that came out pretty recently. She said that girls were her biggest concern when it came to what might have ruined his career. So she has two quotes right here. Quote, "I guarantee there's somebody who's trying to get their hooks into Jaden Daniels." And unquote, quote, "So thank God he got a mama like me because it ain't happening." So what do you think about her statement, James, regarding the girls trying to, plot on, this young, highly paid NFL quarterback, and just the situation of being an athlete?
Nobody hates women more than women. Say that Miles just said is very to the point. It takes one to know. We will have Twitter think pieces about men, how bad men are, how predatory men are. I have a quote, and it's a perfect statement. And again, this is not everybody. It's definitely not the women in this chat. But women know what a misogynist, excuse me. Women know what a narcissist is. Women know and can tell you exactly what what gaslighting is. Women know and can tell you about all the different things in the world because they invented that shit. Women, we've talked about this numerous times on the show. Nobody holds a monopoly on ain't shit. It's just women. No woman looks at herself as a bad person. She's always a main character syndrome. There could be a woman that says that she preys on young men because she was preyed on as a young woman without realizing that she's still the problem. Now, she's right. She's not wrong. We just don't. If men really talked about our problems and the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis with women, and we just did it with fear of with no fear of impunity or somebody coming at us and telling us, because this the main three arguments anytime you argue with a woman and you're winning. Little dick energy, you're gay, you ain't got no money. It's always just don't believe me. Go look at any random Twitter argument. Or when you're actually having a discussion, I don't like men who go back and forth or argue with women. Well, bitch, shut the fuck up and stop arguing with me. My point is that if we all really step back and just listen to each other, we would all realize we all dealing with the same bullshit. Oh, ain't no good men. All men cheat. No, listen to your girlfriends. Or who they cheating with? Are they not are they just cheating in a vacuum? The same, like, I hate to say this, but I think it's like 30%. The only one, they say only 30% of all males are having sex. It's a crazy stat.
That's a dangerous world.
And the reason why is because y'all only it goes back to our carnal, like our main thing. You want protection. You want to procreate. Sex is just as much as it is for recreation is really still about procreation. It's about creating life. And you like the guys with the best traits for you to survive during that time. It's why men who can provide will always, like my mother my mother, I love my mother to death. My mother's one of the greatest women I've ever met in my life. But even my mom is not absent to the Jaden Daniels mom mindset. My mom will tell my sister to go get somebody that's different from me and say that a masculine man is always going to be in style. Because she's right. But then get mad at me because I'm not soft. I'm not the softest person in the world. I don't really do emotions like that. But a woman will tell you all the things that she desires and not impart that into her sons. Because she knows that the world that's not real for the world. I do have a soft side. I'm not I'm nowhere near as cold or a rock as they try to make me perceive. But like when it doesn't make sense, I ain't moving off of some shit that don't make sense because you cry. Crying does absolutely nothing for me. Unless I just need you to shut up and move on. Actually, to be honest with you, the crying, I may manipulate tears more than anybody else because I'm just going to do it. I'm going to get what I want, and I just need you to shut the fuck up so I can get what I want. Like, it's really more so it's a negotiation thing. But like, my point with this is that, you know, if a guy was courting her, what guy? Let me ask you. So get in the chat. What kind of man? Like, I think she's a single mom. If an older Jaden Daniels, I'm assuming she was like a man her age, was available, she would want all the things to be taken care of her as if the young women who are coming at her son want. So a woman would say, do all of these different things for me, but not want their son to do all of those different things. Like, does that not, like, sometimes be like, are you listening to yourself? Are you hearing yourself talk? Are you hearing what you're saying right now?
There's a tug of war in this negotiation. And sometimes they're not fair arguments that people are presenting in order to win more leverage in this back and forth.
Like I said, I'm a catch.
Right.
The woman should think she's a catch. The woman should think that. But goddamn it, I'm not gonna think I ain't no motherfucking catch. Like, I ain't chopped liver over here. And on top of that, it goes back to remember, like, I don't think you were here, Jay, but we're gonna have to do a show with you so you can see it. Have you ever heard the male-female delusional calculators? So based upon using the census reports, right, of where people are at, you can type in the statistics of what people deem desirable. Now, it's like it's non-measurable stuff that women say they want, but it's really not true. But like, you don't know what my character is until you get to know me, right? But like, just to get me in the door, right? What are the different things that we want? There's a male one and then there's a female one, and both of them are out. If you want a guy, like, how tall are you, Jaden? So let's just go 5'11", 6 foot. Let's go. You want a 6 foot? A woman wants a 6 foot man. They always say, like, if you under 5'10", you basically 5'5". They try to make it. You got to be tall. You got to be tall, like just tall, dark, handsome, and don't. I even told them because $60,000 is a lot of money. Making $60,000. If you make over $60,000 in America, you're in a high. You're in like the top 30% if I remember correctly. And then if you really that we haven't even got a truly specific yet, right? You want no kids? Like, if you want to feel good about yourself, type in all your accolades, Jaden, and then you'll find out like that a woman has, like, it's like you're 2.5% of the population, or something crazy like that. Now, obviously, if you live in Atlanta, you live in a major metro, you have a higher percentage than somebody in Nebraska. But like, when you're 2.5% of the population, you know what you have? Options. Everybody wants you. When you're one of those, but you're a desirable object. It's like the guy put on Tiger Woods. Like he said, she says she hates Tiger Woods because he cheated on his wife once or a few times. And then she said, but you love your friend's husband. And she's like, well, he only cheated on her once. Yeah, he cheated on her 100% of the times with the women that were available to him. Do you know how much pussy Tiger Woods has turned down in his life?
Oh my God.
No, I'm just saying, just think about it like that. Like, Tiger Woods might have had sex with 17 women, but he turned down 32,000 in that year. Like, you never get credit for the things that you turn down. You only get charged. So I'm saying all that to say is when you're in a position, more people shoot at you. Same thing with pretty women. So that pretty woman privilege. But she's not going, her son is one of the like 1%. Like, every woman's going to throw themselves at her, and she's going to teach him. Basically, she's going to raise her son to be she's raising her son to be a bad bitch, which is the truth. But I just wish people would be like, if we all told the truth, I think things would be better. But I think she's right. But I also think she's wrong. I think he should make sure she doesn't prevent him from finding his forever bae. Something real by like being cynical. But I do know this too. Sometimes our mothers, I say our mothers because I love my mom, but maybe she did this too. Our mothers, in trying to protect us, sometimes act more like not none of that Oedipus shit, but like end up being more like our lovers than our mothers. And she needs to make sure she's not cock blocking her son because women did, because the other thing could happen.
Well, he didn't get nobody pregnant.
Yeah, well, but what I'm saying is the other thing might you lose. He ain't zesty like the boy in zesty like the boy in Chicago, but he looked like a pirate. Like the way his mustache and everything like goes, it just looks like we don't want him. Then she's gonna be real mad. But you've been denying this man the opportunity to get some vagina in Chocolate City, in DC. Like
how do you warn your son about the game if your son, what do you tell him? Like,
I am going to Trey and Kai. If they are going to get married, it will be arranged marriages.
Oh no. I mean,
I'm finding a woman for them. Until then, I'm going to be like James Earl Jones and Coming to America. Tell my sons, you sow your royals. Just don't get no bitch pregnant. Like wear Jimmy. I ain't even gonna say a condom. I'm gonna say the old schools. I'm gonna say wear Jimmy. And don't worry about these. Don't worry. What I'm telling them is don't worry. As a guy who did it, and now if you find the right one, you find the right one. I ain't mad at it. But as a guy who did it, getting married before 26 is like going to the club at 10 and leaving at midnight. He shouldn't even went out. But like just really, but if you focus on ball or you focus on your career, like if you were really career oriented, like life gets better after 30, man. Like you have your money, you should have your money. I got their savings. Their retirement is going to be taken care of by being their mom. Really their grandparents, but for the most part, we're gonna make sure they'll be straight. They'll have a foundation. They'll have some different things going on for them. They will. They just need to worry about trying to be as great so that they can have themselves built up to where they can actually take care of people. I think the problem is a lot of times people aren't even in a position to take care of people, and we'll look at marriage and love as a business construct because that's what, regardless of what we want to believe, that's what it is. The original concept was it was about uniting nations and creating generational wealth, which is what Jaden's mom should be trying to do right now. But I think the other part of it too is what else? And I'll give him some rules that dad lived by. No sleepovers. Like you only play away games and neutral site games. Meaning if you can't go over her house, you need to go get a hotel. But she damn sure ain't coming to your house because you don't want people fucking up where you sleep at. But and use your god sisters. The god sisters could probably keep us out of a lot of different things. They can tell you when a woman ain't shit. So I don't know, but it's wild. It's wild. So, but his mom is out there. His mom is she's using it. I mean, she's being she's not being a bad mom. It's just funny to hear a woman talk like this.
Yeah, so it was breaking the internet, and I just wanted to add it to the show outline. And speaking of breaking the internet, excuse me about that. Cam Newton was on First Take, and we don't have to play the video because it's just this main quote that's pretty much circulating. So it was he was comparing the Mark Andrews avoiding the media to the Fox Sports misconduct lawsuit. So quote. He said, "Why make a fuss about Andrews if you're not keeping the same energy about Fox's report and lack of public accountability. And Stephen A. was definitely perplexed about this situation. Do you think, James, that Cam was out of pocket for trying to merge these two?
I think he was completely in pocket, but I want to hear it. Like, how long is the video? Oh, man, I'll play because I want them to. Like, Cam took it there. Speaking of a guy who dresses like a pirate. Oh, it's so just Cam is. I love Cam, man. What is he wearing right now? Like with that, like just the confidence is amazing. Like when you're rich, again, you do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. A shout out to my dog Cam. But go ahead and play that.
I'm going to go with the unpopular pick, but I want everybody to keep this same energy in other commodities, in politics, in entertainment, in sports, no matter what it is. And we haven't been holding people to the same fire. So Mark Andrews, it's okay, bro. You ain't got to talk to nobody, because in other networks, there's lawsuits that's been out. We ain't heard nobody say nothing about that. Now we got other things that's coming up. When there's a Fox report that comes out and we haven't heard anybody speak about anything or make any type of public announcement, nobody has held Fox to that same thing. So why are we talking about making a big fuss about Mark Andrews if you're not going to keep that same energy across the board? That's what I'm saying.
But he's saying
in all different industries, people don't have to.
I just didn't understand what he was saying. That's all I didn't know.
He's just saying in all different industries, people don't have to be held accountable and go in front of a mic right away. So
and listen, I believe Mark's going to talk at some point.
I hate that Stephen A. Smith even did that, dog. You knew exactly what that man was talking about. He was very specific. And that's that's the problem with, again, so on 3-6, this is what we're going to do. Let me get through this first quarter because it's busier than a motherfucker right now. But we're going to hold people to the same standard. We find them people's little league games. We find them people's children's little league games. We find that we critiquing articles. We writing articles about y'all shit. Because journalists act as if they're the end-all, be-all on stuff, and then the minute that you critique them, like, no, like Cam's coming from an athlete perspective. Like, if the shoe is the best commercial that was ever made, I believe, but it was still in fun, was when Peyton Manning went around. I think it was a Visa commercial? When Peyton Manning went around cheering and booing other people's jobs. He was like, cut that meat. Cut that meat. Like, imagine if somebody really came into like to your 5-star Michelin restaurant and ate steak was like, overrated. Like, or came to you and like started doing, like, if athletes treated you the same way that you treat athletes, you could not handle it. And that's why but people are like, oh my God, he's so arrogant. How dare he believe the things that he believes? The reason why they do that is because you don't. It's literally, it's a microcosm of society. If you don't like that shit, why would somebody else like that shit? And if you were as good at your job as the athlete was, then you probably would be in a different position. But no, Mark Andrews need that fucking camera in his face. But I would say just like Joy needs a camera in her face, but I believe cameras were used already. Somebody got that on camera, dog. For sure. Oh man, just somebody that Joy looked like she bought that life, man.
I feel like Cam's getting better at this thing, but he also see a lot of Stephen A. Smith in him. I'm like, okay, he's learning from the goat.
Very much so.
There's a point where they even sit back and see it just like the exact same way. I love that Cam is becoming more of it. He's using fighting fire with fire.
He is literally telling people to keep that same energy, and it's the beauty in all of this is that Cam doesn't need this. So he can literally speak his mind because what are you going to do? Fire him?
Right.
He's going to be like, cool. I make money on my podcast. I make money on my investments. I have a cigar thing. You can't say I'm in the community. He's like, Cam is that guy. And he's very entertaining and he's very knowledgeable. And the worst shot you can take on Cam Newton is that maybe he didn't win a Super Bowl. He was all pro. Multiple Pro Bowl, not probably. it's clear he's the best player in Carolina Panthers history. Is there a better player with the Panthers? We can maybe argue Steve Smith, but like he wasn't better. He wasn't like Cam Newton.
Is he the best player podcaster or Shannon?
Ooh.
We got to make a tier list at this point. There's so many of them.
I think it's different. I think Cam can lead. Shannon can't lead a sports podcast. He can interview. Like the Club Shay Shay is gossip, which is cool.
Oh, that's true. He is.
The Chad, the one with him and Chad Johnson is just two guys talking, basically two guys FaceTiming and just, I would say gossip, but chopping it up.
But it's different than.
But Cam could literally do a sports talk show by himself, and I will watch it and listen to it. Like, but I would say if I had to say who's the best, I still would go Ryan Clark.
Damn.
He's better at it.
Yeah. That about right.
Cam just has a better resume for his football acumen than Ryan does. Yeah, he's good. Like, I mean, it's a lot of good guys. Like, I think Brian McFadden is one of the Brian McFadden and not Patrick Payton. What's my guy's name? His cousin. Basically, it's crazy how athletic that family is. That's got two good at the DB from LSU. But yeah, man, that's when he raises anybody who raises a good point, and I think that's what really that's the scary thing. And I've heard people say this before, right? I had somebody say it to me, and they think it's a compliment. They think it's a compliment, but it really isn't. They'll say, "Man, you're really smart for an athlete," or something like that. Like, the journalists have this thing where they think because they went to school for it that they're the only people who can actually have a really good opinion. And they think that, and people, it's that dumb jock thing when it's like, no, it's just where we choose to apply ourselves. Like, learn the playbook and tell me how dumb you are when you learn the playbook. It's like learning another language. I think Cam is extremely talented. I don't like listening to a lot of podcasts or a lot of clip, but when he talks, when there's a clip of him, I like listening to it.
But I do like the clip.
And when they clip it, they do a good job. It's to the point, and the arguments typically aren't on what Cam is saying. It's on, I wish you would have dived on that fumble, or it's something like, it's something personal. That's when you know you won. Is when they go personal. It's never like your take was stupid, but what we got next?
So Marcellus Wiley decided to drop a diss track on Ryan Clark, and I thought it was AI, but I was wrong. So we're gonna play this.
Why are they beefing? Do we have a reason? Do we know why they're beefing? Like, what's the real?
I just think it. I don't really know, but if I had to guess, it was probably pertaining to him leaving Fox, Marcellus Wiley. But I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can help me out.
He
but
didn't leave. I think he was like Jason Whitlock was. He was
terminated. Or
him and Jason Whitlock have gone down this path, and he's not as bad as Jason Whitlock. Actually, people were right. Like, they were right to get on me about, okay. They were right to get on me about putting Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley in the same boat. Marcellus Wiley actually isn't bad, but like, there are some things I don't like when people give off this false righteousness. I don't think Ryan Clark race baits. I think Ryan Clark brings up things, and that's what I guess Miles just showed me this, and I think they've gone back and forth, and I know Ryan posted some of the Twitter exchanges, and Ryan's from Louisiana, man. Like he ain't, and Marcellus is from Compton. So that don't just leave you, even if you're not a thug or whatever. You're from those areas. There are guys who ain't afraid to bump a little bit. Now, I think Marcellus, if he puts his paws on Ryan, it ain't gonna end well for him. But like, I think it comes down to his opinions of Lamar Jackson, and I think with historical context, the critiques that Lamar Jackson and maybe some other quarterbacks have gotten aren't fair in comparison to their counterparts. Like, that's not it's not a revolutionary, it's not a quote unquote woke statement. That's just a statement. And if you don't agree with it, you don't have to attack me personally. You can just come out with pure fact. Because if it's true, you can just come out with pure facts to back your point. And there are some good facts to back your point if you actually watch ball. Marcellus and Ryan fell for the bait of him being the draw right now. He is the bigger name. Marcellus is okay in doing his thing on the independent side. Same thing with Jason Whitlock. When you respond, all you're doing is drawing the energy and the attention and thrusting his name into the spotlight. Like, it's like what Ghost said on Power. Sometimes the best response is no response. And, if he would have just ignored it, but Ryan just, clearly something about Marcellus Wiley, and maybe they had a better relationship in the past. Him saying this to him really affects him. Like, it don't affect me, but it wouldn't affect me, but that's it. But this is when I knew it was going down a realm which I didn't want to go down. And I can't, was it 2 minutes? Is that what the rap is? So the 4 minutes of my life that are going to be spent listening to this, I'm not going to be able to get them back. But as I tell my friends who get my Instagram posts, I had to hear it to see it. So do you. So I'm people now. So drop that heat for us.
I gotta get my flows right for this one. Go get him, MJ. What'd he say? That's my baby. That's my 9-year-old. That's MJ. Hey, what'd he do? What are you talking about? All that stuff coming out his mouth. I hear it. But I'm so far away. I ain't near it. You know what I'm saying? I just try to keep it clean, my spirit. But you ready? Let's hear it. Let's go. Ryan Clark, what's this I see? You dissing me for years. Now you want to talk to me? Private text, but your public game is weak. Calling me a sellout, now I want to hear you speak, boy. Yo, Clark, you been running your mouth for a while. Throwing shade in public, trying to cramp my style. Calling me a sellout, trying to tear my name. But when it gets too hot, you don't treat it the same. Social media posts, man, you out of control. Tweeting disrespect, gonna play that role. Now you hitting up my phone, trying to make it right. But you weren't talking reckless just last night. I heard you. Don't text me in private while you diss me in public. Fraudulent vibes, man, I can't even trust it. Ryan Clark's fake, yeah, I'm calling it out. Keep that same energy when you run your mouth. Yeah, that's how you sound coming on my show. Nah, I ain't with that. You had your chance, but now it's tit for tat. Years of disses. Now you want to be friends? But real ones don't fake it. This is where it ends. I stayed in my lane. I did what I do. While you threw dirt, now it's sticking to you. Keep my name out your tweets, out your posts, boy. Ryan Clark, man, you just doing the most, boy. Fraud and fake, yeah, that's your game. But real ones stand tall. They don't play for fame. You want to talk? Nah, the door's shut tight. Handle your issues where you spark that fight. Why? I hear you. Yo, Ryan, take this as a lesson to learn. Respect ain't given. It's something you earn. You can keep your text. Keep your fake game, too. Real recognize real. And I don't see you.
I don't believe this. I think it's a fake. It's all fake. Because this is too angry to get over.
He put on it's all that. This is.
I was starting to think good about you. We're talking good about you, Ryan Clark.
That wasn't Ryan Clark though.
I know, but just for being involved, yeah,
I'm mad at Ryan for being involved in this. Like if I see Ryan, I'll be like, yo, man, you better than this, dog. If I see Jaden, your job at the Super Bowl, when we get you your day pass, is to run down celebrities. And if you get me Ryan, me and him have to have a comment like, bro, like, why are we? You better than this, dog. Like I hate time. The only time one of the most angry times that I've ever gotten as a man is when another man told me I'm disappointed in you. And I'm like, who the fuck are you to tell me that you did? But like, I almost want to tell Ryan this, like, bro, I'm disappointed in you for even getting into this. Now, that's a badass red jacket with that scarf, though. Yeah. That's cleaner than a motherfucker right there. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Some of his outfits, he's like taking too many risks. Like he's trying to do the Cam Newton shit. But the man can dress though. The man fly. Oh, that's a peacoat. Okay. Kudos to him. Marcellus? Does Marcellus Wiley have children? And I like the fact that he put like all his like communities. First, I want to say before I give my critique, we're going to use the sandwich method. Like, it was a positive, negative, positive, right? What are the ages? Kudos to all the different things that you seem to be doing in your community, because he showed like videos of football camps and things like that. I love the fact that he looks like the dad from My Wife and Kids. Not My Wife and Kids, excuse me. He looks like the dad from Everybody Hates Chris. If you look at him right now. Okay, 2023. Okay, so oh my God. All right. So he's older than me, clearly, but yeah. I'm trying to sit here and think about Miles. Let's forget to that. Jaden, you're younger. What do you rate those bars? 1 out of 10.
The bars are it's pretty good, pretty trash. Because like off beat.
Well, like so I was first, because he's a West Coast guy, right? West Coast cats do that. But I couldn't get into it. I couldn't catch the beat. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't even like, even Blueface is so bad that it's funny. And Blueface will say something that'll make me be like, okay, well, I like that. No problem. Silk the Shocker at least had platinum albums.
He did?
Yeah, but he was on a No Limit entry. Miles, what do you think about those lyrics?
That was terrible. That was awful. Like he was trying to be funny. And it wasn't funny.
No, I think he was trying to be funny with his rhymes, but I think he was dead fucking serious about how he's rapping. That's the way he rapped. It makes me wonder, is this what Trey hears when I play like rap from like my era? This was worse than 80s rap.
Yeah, he had to listen
like hip hop started out in the park. Boom, bam, bop. Speak from the heart. Like that's basically what he's giving us, man. And we could have all done without this. Like you could have just all that shit that he could have just said that, right? And he tried to get like the hard rap beat. It was a waste of a beat. But I wonder what his son, like the biggest thing, like one of my things that will really hurt my heart is I don't want to be a disappointment to my son. Like, what will my son think? Like, if I did that, you think Trey would be, Trey would be hurt by that, right? Trey would be definitely, that's embarrassing to your kid, man. Let me tell you about how we used to do in the streets. Anybody come and they want that beef, you got to see me straight up, man to man. And if you get that L, I'm going to take your hand and I'm going to just bury it in the ground. Dig your own grave. Ryan Clark, you still acting like a slave.
Yeah, he was
all the shucking and jiving. Trying to besmirch my name, dumpster diving, muckraker. When you talking to a heartbreaker, breaker, 1-9. I saw something like that shit corny in the motherfucker. Like, don't do that shit. Now how old is he? He got to be 50 now, right? Boy, I know he ain't in. I know he ain't in. I know he ain't in. He older than me, so, bro, what are we doing, man? Like Cam, this is killing everything that Cameron does on It Is What It Is podcast. Cam still got it. Now it's an old style that ain't popular no more, but it's still smooth. Hey, maybe he is in the same boat as Jason Whitlock, man, at this point, man. Fuck these dudes, man. CTE is real. I did not believe in CTE until recently, man. Like, y'all motherfuckers got it. He needed to get the settlement. All right. But shit, man. Yeah, what's next, man?
So we'll go off with this funny video from the mayor of Philadelphia. I don't think we touched on this video when it released, so we're a little late to the party, but it's hilarious either way. So let me just give you a background on the mayor of Philadelphia. So she served as the 100th mayor of Philadelphia since 2024, and she is the first woman to hold the office. She's a graduate of Lincoln University and University of Penn. And this is how she led the Eagles chat and the Eagles chant, excuse me, and it did not go so well.
Before you play it, wow, that was my face inside looking at. That's what Ryan Clark probably looking like when he's listening to that rap. Go ahead, Jada.
Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds! Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds! Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds! You all say
E-S.
E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds! Let me hear you all say
Man. I don't even need to read the comments because they're right. This is where diversity, equity, and inclusion fucks us up. Like, if they want to call this a DEI hire, then they're completely right. Like, I just don't like that fucks up. Gosh.
This happened before to Dwayne.
Dwayne Wade messed up the chat too. You got to give. This is why you need reps. You got to make sure people spell things and sound things out. All right. Well, this is wow. She was confident in that. Oh my God, they spelled it out. Oh.
Yeah, her name is Sherelle Parker. Like I said, she's the 100th mayor of Philadelphia. Pretty momentous title, and she's the first woman to hold the office. She served in the Pennsylvania House of Reps from 2005 to 2015, representing the 200 district in Northwest Philly.
So she was in West Philadelphia, where she was born and raised. On the playground is where she spent most of her days, chilling out. That's so much better. That makes me feel better. I'm washing the noise of Marcellus Wiley out of my ears by quoting Fresh Prince. That's how bad that rap was. All right, yeah, she doesn't. Yeah. All right. It's an old black. Nobody spells it worse than old black women.
he's calm, collected, has a will to win because his name, of course, is Wayne Jones.
Wade. It was nice in the moment.
Yeah.
You can't get it right though.
You can't mess up my name now.
Yeah, like it wasn't even close.
The bench. Wade Jones.
Yeah. Man, that's tough, man. Ugh. And when I mess up, it's like I forget something. But like I've never messed up where I spelled something wrong. Like, apples. You know what that is? That's a like. So what she should do is parlay this into an advertising deal. Snickers has been doing the chef's commercial for years, like Hungry Why Wait, and the guys did the painting of the end zone, and he spelled chefs instead of Chiefs. She needs to be a hungry Why Wait, or want to get, or parlay into the Southwest commercial. Want to get away? Southwest has deals for $49 round trip. But nah, man. On that note, man, we are on long. Mike Norvell helped me over. We'll probably talk about some of this stuff later on, but we got to finish this up. Got to get this Saturday. I'm get this Friday started. I'll be having some clips from me going to the NFC Championship game to root for the ELGLES Eagles. Like, so I'll be in the stands, and I'll probably try to get some people to do the chant with me. I have no idea what I'm going to wear. I just know it's going to be cold. Coming back next week, we'll have the next month is going to be a lot of Den media on the road. So hopefully we'll have a lot of good content. Please tell a friend and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following us on the road and our subsidiaries, Games Gridiron, Domo Athletics, a lot of the different stuff that we have. Appreciate you guys. We will see you guys next week.